The breaking news edition here of the Zander Krause show on JAKIB Sports. This is one that hits close to home. My favorite Eagle of all time, Brandon Graham, after 15 years from start to finish with our Philadelphia Eagles, announces his retirement from the NFL. He did it just now at a press conference down at the NovaCare complex. He is fielding questions from reporters. This is a tough this is a crazy moment for me because I'm a younger fan, and I know there's obviously a lot of Eagle legends that have come through this city, but this is the first guy that from start to finish, I remember his entire career like it was yesterday. I was 11 years old when Brandon Graham got drafted in 2001. What did he get drafted? 2010? Yeah, 2010 NFL draft. Pretty crazy experience to have followed his entire career, but what an unbelievable moment. What an unbelievable career for him in Eagles green, and one of the best to ever do it. An Eagles Mount Rushmore type of guy, in my opinion. A Mount Rushmore type of guy. Hangs up the cleats officially. And I do want to talk to some of you guys in the chat, some of our great Eagles fans in the chat who will check in. I want to look at what are the best moments that come to mind when you think of Brandon Graham. So we'll do that a little bit on the show a little bit later on today. But just to give everybody the breaking news, Brandon Graham officially has retired from the NFL. Jeffrey Lurie just put out a statement, and everybody is now responding to Brandon Graham, who has officially hung up the cleats. And I was just listening to him. I was getting a little emotional. I was getting a little choked up listening to Brandon Graham. Thank everybody. Thank his wife, his teammates, his coaches, the media. I mean, he thanked everybody. And, when he came into the locker room, he hugged every single member of the media in the contingency. Our guy John McMullen was up there, got a hug from Brandon Graham, and just amazing. This is a true professional in every sense of the word. This is a guy that you can take. You can watch Brandon Graham and learn something and how to apply it to your own life, no matter what it is you do, no matter what your occupation is, what your family picture is. He's a guy that does everything. He does the little things right. And there's a lot to take from him. It makes everybody feels like $1 million. I've met Brandon Graham several times. I met him at the Maxwell Awards. We've had some photos taken with BJ and I, and with BJ and my dad, the founder of JAKIB. So pretty incredible stuff, but definitely hitting hard. I almost knew this was coming, and it still is hitting hard. Brandon Graham retiring. Just listening to him, I think, with the players in the room, it's pretty unbelievable who Brandon Graham is, what he became in this city, the story of Brandon Graham. Pretty remarkable. It really is. It's remarkable. And we lose an Eagles legend and another guy, not to get into the football aspect of it, but another guy now we have to replace on that defense, that number one overall defense. But no doubt, I'll take a couple of comments from you guys as well, because I do want to get you guys into the show. I think this is a moment for all Eagles fans. Boulevard checks in. What's up, Boulevard? It's been a pleasure following his career and seeing the growth. His growth is beautiful to watch. It absolutely was. You remember, at the start of his career, man, many people questioned, remember the draft pick. What was he taking? 13th overall? 13th overall in front of Earl Thomas. Remember how controversial that pick was? Did you want to take BG there? Should he have taken Earl? I'll take BG all day and twice on Sunday. All right, I'll take BG all day and twice on Sunday. But called the bust, many times labeled as he wasn't going to be the guy, written off very early, and never stopped. Never stopped grinding. Perfectly said, Greg Smith. Says BG was written off in this city, but he never stopped working. Greg, you're spot on, brother. Swaggy says, hey, Xander, much respect to BJ. Bird Gang Girl says, it's depressing. It is a little bit. But look, this is one of those where this is also a beautiful thing for Brandon Graham. How many players can say they were drafted and finished with the same team, played for 15 years, a two-time Super Bowl champion, made arguably the greatest play in Eagles history? Yes, I'm saying it. Arguably the greatest play in Eagles history. The strip sack on Tom Brady, which sealed the Eagles' first Super Bowl victory. Unbelievable. Michigan, product of Michigan, no doubt about it. So, unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. But yeah, I can't believe he's done, man. I can't believe he's done. David LaPre checks in. Graham had to retire on my birthday. This sucks. Yeah, happy birthday to you, but it does. Not gonna lie, I haven't felt this since Utley retired. Different circumstance, same feelings. No doubt, Pat Ryan. This is a big one, man. This is a bigger one for me because, like I said, I know a couple people have retired. Fletcher Cox was another one of my favorite Eagles of all times, and he hung him up last year. Jason Kelsey, I love Jason Kelsey. I didn't love him like I love BG and Fletcher. So, BG was my guy. Fletcher was my guy. These are two guys that I've followed from the jump, and I'm hoping that more Eagles have this type of opportunity, that get drafted here, who come up here and who retire here. It's not often though. This isn't something that happens often. It's really not. So it's pretty remarkable that he was able to do that. Pretty remarkable that he was able to do that. BG, number 55, all right, 6'2", 265, our stout defensive end. 2010 NFL draft, first round, 13th overall. You guys remember that draft well with Earl Thomas going right behind him. College, obviously, University of Michigan, as you pointed out here, Boulevard. Appreciate that. Philadelphia Eagles, 2010 to 2024, 15 seasons. 15 seasons. And he has the franchise record for most games played, most playoff games played, most playoff sacks, 5.5 playoff sacks for Brandon Graham. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowl in 2020. Walter Payton, Man of the Year nominee multiple times. All right. Team captain multiple years, and a member of the Eagles' 75th anniversary team. So pretty unbelievable stuff. He has 82 career sacks in his career if you include the playoffs. So just amazing, man. Just amazing. This is an amazing career. And KCA, our opportunistic giveaway guy, wants an Eagles BG jersey giveaway. This is something I'm tempted to do. We really do. Maybe we should do this, another BG jersey giveaway, or, get something for Brandon Graham. So to give away on the channel. But obviously pretty unbelievable, man. From draft bust to Philly icon, a beloved leader, locker room presence, a fan favorite. Amazing. How about this? One of my favorite moments of Brandon Graham's career. Now, I want to ask you guys in the chat, what are your favorite moments from Brandon Graham's career? Like the strip sack I just mentioned, obviously one of the greatest plays in Eagles history. That's a big moment. Here's a moment that I think of. It's more recent, but it's unbelievable. His career high 11 sacks at 34 years old after he tore his Achilles the year before. You remember what we were saying after 2021? BG is not going to be able to contribute in 22 after tearing his Achilles at 34 years old. He comes back and has 11 sacks, a career high, coming off an Achilles injury. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Bird Gang Girl says the strip sack is my favorite because I couldn't stand Brady. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I wrote down a couple of the ones that I have. I went back and I looked at his first career sack. You guys remember what his first career sack was? Who can tell me that? There's a strip sack versus the 49ers on Alex Smith. All right, that was his first career sack as an Eagle. So a little walk down memory lane there. How about the domination in the 2007 NFC Championship game versus the Vikings? Obviously, the Eagles won the Super Bowl that year. Won the Super Bowl in 2017 season, the first in franchise history. Cemented his status, especially with the strip sack. I mentioned the 2021, the comeback from the Achilles injury. And then, obviously after that, the career high in sacks in 2011. Walter Payton, Man of the Year. I mentioned that. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing on that. And drafted 13th overall in 2010. So, yeah, this is a hard one. This is a hard to put into words. I'm not going to lie to you. Doing a show here, obviously I want to do the reaction and, talk to you guys about it. But it's a tough one, man. He is Mr. Eagle himself. He really is Mr. Eagle himself. And he embodies everything about this city. He embodies everything that this city stands on, from the fans, the passion, a smile that lit up the whole room every single time, heart of a champion, cast off early, right? Counted out early as a draft bust, and ultimately becomes one of the greatest Eagles of all time. In my opinion, he is on the Eagles' Mount Rushmore. Now, depending on what fan you talk to, what era of their fandom, they'll give you a different four, but Eagles Mount Rushmore, he is on my four. He is on my four, Eagles Mount Rushmore, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So pretty remarkable career for Brandon Graham here in Philly. I do want to take your guys' comments, so comment down below. Hit the like button on the video for BG. A career that will be remembered in Philadelphia forever, Brandon Graham. So congrats to you, sir. Thank you for what you did for this city, for this team, for this organization. You will never, ever, ever be forgotten, at least as long as I live. You'll never be forgotten in this city. So thank you so much, Brandon Graham, for your contributions. This is a tough one, but we love you, BG. We love you. This is well earned. And think about that. Drafted in 2010, and he goes 15 years start to finish with one organization. You don't see that. You don't see that on the best players in the game. Brian Dawkins didn't do that. You don't see that in any of the best players in the game today. And Brandon Graham went 15 years start to finish. Kyle Kokorski says, Zander, who's the new leader on off defense now with Brandon Graham retiring? It's a good question. I look at those Georgia boys. I look at Zach Bowen. I look at Jalen Carter. I look at Nolan Smith. You know, I look at some of those guys. I think those guys are going to have to step up and step into that role. Boulevard checks in. This year is pretty amazing too, to be injured, not knowing if he's going to come back in time for the Super Bowl. He comes back, makes a difference in the game, and gets a Super Bowl. That's a great take, man. Really good. Another really good moment from Brandon Graham's career. What a finish. What a finish, right, Boulevard? To finish on this high as a Super Bowl champion, you know, with this career, this storied career in Philly. It's unbelievable. It's hard to put into words what Brandon Graham means for this city and this story, but pretty unbelievable stuff. Now, I'm going to get out of here because I do want to do a show. We'll have another show on Brandon Graham coming up with John McMullen. He's down there for the press conference. So we'll talk to John when he gets out of there. But I did want to have give John a chance to kind of give you guys, because John talks to them every day, right? John is down there. He is around the players. He got a hug from Brandon Graham today. He saw who was in the room for the press conference. So we'll get John's inside take on the retirement. And just what BG meant to John as a reporter. I know John doesn't care about, stuff like we care about stuff as fans, but John's a people guy, so I think he'll have some good stuff, some good stories to tell about Brandon Graham. So we'll do that coming up, but appreciate all you guys checking in, and I'll see you next time on JAKIB Sports. Appreciate it. Love you, Brandon Graham.